So you've got the ball, you're putting it between your thighs, and you're laying down on the ground. And this is just what we're going to do is the warm-up is always the same no matter what you do. The first thing we do is squeeze that ball and tilt the pelvis. So you're not using your glutes on this. You're squeezing the ball and tilting. You can even put your hands on your hip bones so you feel the tilt and you're compressing those abdominals. We're hitting the right belly button to spine. And it's only because you squeeze that this is happening. You're not pressing into your feet at all. You're using lower belly right there. And can you feel that? Exhale, and then release. We just want to cinch the waistline. So that's the first part of this, okay? And now you're going to keep the squeeze, keep the belly flat, take your hands behind your head, left hand and right hand, top one hand on top of the other. And I like to keep my elbows not really wide, but slightly lifted. And then you're going to lift and look toward the ball. So the whole abdominal is flat on the floor. We're going to do 10 lifts. Lower. Now you haven't stopped squeezing, lift. You want to keep all the work into the inner thighs as you lift the head and shoulders. Breathe out. Make sure your feet are in line with the knees in line with the hips, and the thumbs are supporting the neck, so there's no stress on the neck. You've got 5. And I want you to try to feel your shoulder blades off the floor. 4, maybe just the tips of the shoulder blades are on the floor. 3, and 2. You're going to hold this one up. You're going to hold it up, and right at below the bra strap, this is where we want to feel the work. You're going to pulse. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep squeezing that ball. 6, 5, 4. Eyes over the knees. 3, 2, 1. And now you relax. Relax the ball. So now I want you to feel, I'm going to do my skirt. I want you to feel that arch in your back, that you have a big arch, okay? Take your feet, dig your heels down so your toes are lifted. Now we're going to do the same thing. It's a little different. Instead of flattening the back, you're going to have the arch in the back. Hands behind the head. The lift won't be as high, I can tell you that, because of what we've done with the pelvis. We're going to lift up, but I want you to make sure you have space in the lower back. Okay, the pelvis is flat. We're not doming the abs, we're flattening them. And we're going to come from here, we're going to lift and lower. Dig the heels into the ground. You're squeezing the ball. The pelvis is in neutral rather than imprint. And you've got 7. Exhale, 6. Lower belly working differently. 5. Your hands are doing the work. You're not letting your chin lead. 4, 3. Exhale all your 2. You're going to feel your ribs sliding down. 1. Hold there. Now the same thing. We're going to lift for 10, 9. Exhale 8, 7. Digging the heels. 6. Squeezing the ball. 5, 4. All the air out. 3, 2, 1, and come down. So hopefully you're feeling that whole rectus abdominis panel. Now, we're going to add on to this. So what I want to do is we're going to work obliques 2 different ways. The first way, we're going to go ahead and keep that neutral pelvis, meaning I only told you to dig the heels in because that way your butt stays anchored. You can relax your feet on the floor, but I want you to feel that you're not flattening your back. I want the curve. Okay, right elbow is going to stay on the floor. You're going to lift the left elbow and come back. You're getting that left to right hip contraction. So you always keep the right elbow on the floor. You're just lifting the left. And you're going for 7. Exhale, 6. This is just the first set of obliques. 5. Finding that rotation from the left armpit to the right hip. 4, 3, 2. It's almost like just a shoulder turn. And 1. Come back to center. We're going to switch. We're going to left elbow down, right elbow lifts. And you're feeling that rotation of the shoulders. Again, the pelvis is not flat. I want your natural curve. Exhale, rotate. You look over to the knees and then over the chest. Let's go for 5. One side you'll feel this probably turns easier than the other side because of your golf. 4, squeezing the ball. 3, and 2, and 1. Come on back. And let's just go ahead and take that hands away from the head. And you're going to take the ball now between the knees. We're going to just let the knees drop over to the right. And you might have to adjust the ball. I want you to feel that left knee pressing into the ball. And both shoulders are flat on the floor. Take your right hand behind your head. Your left hand is going to be straight along the side of your body. So you're going to pick your head up with your right hand and you're looking at your left hip. You're squeezing the ball with both knees and we're going to come up and down for 10. Exhale, 9. Feel like you're reaching your left fingertips toward your feet. 8, 7. The whole head is supported by the hands. 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep your arm reaching toward your feet. 2. You're going to hold this up. Now, look toward your left hip. We're going to pulse for 10, 9. Feel the left hip there. 7, ribs to hips. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And lower down. Carefully come back to center. The ball's still between the knees. Readjust yourself if you need to. Now you're going to let those knees drop over to the left. The right knee is pressing into the ball to give you a little stretch on that right side. Your left hand goes behind the head and your right hand is along the side of your body. It's like you're reaching past your hip. Thumb is up, your arm is off the floor and you're reaching past your right hip. Lift your head and shoulders and look to the right hip. So again, my arm is reaching off the floor. We're going to come up and down. It's like you're trying to get your left shoulder off the floor. The right already is. And we're lifting. Hand glides, your right hand's gliding toward your feet. Your left elbow is out to the side. Let's go for 5 more. Breathe out, all the way back down in. 4. You got 3 more. 2 more. You got 1 more after this, and you're going to hold this one up. Hold it. Now, here's our pulses. The rib slides at the hip bone. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Pull the belly in. 4, 3, 2, 1. And lower the head. Come back to center. You're going to take that ball out between your knees. Okay, we're going to go a little deeper now. So now you're going to press into your feet, lift your hips, and put that ball under your butt. Okay, so the ball's under the butt. Okay, now this is going to really work those lower abs. Okay, we worked obliques, we worked lower, we worked up or down, so all lower abs. So I'm going to have you go into what we call gunslinger arms. The elbows are at the sides, the fingertips pointing to the sky, and the shoulders are flat. First one we're going to do is called marches. You're going to bring your right leg up to tabletop. Your foot is in line with your knee, and then you're going to switch. So you're just tapping your heel to the ground, one thigh up, and then the other. So I'm moving the legs in space, down and up for 8, 8, exhale, exhale. You have 5, 5, pressing into that ball. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Keep both legs up to tabletop. Now this one, Terry, be careful. Maybe your feet might not come down all the way, but you're keeping the knees back. You're gonna drop the heels down and pull up, pick them up. Okay, so I lower my heels and I lift. I've got my knees together on this. Lower down, exhale, draw those thigh bones in the sockets. Shoulders are down, pull it in. It's really important you stay heavy on that ball and exhale. You don't have to touch the floor. You're just keeping that hinge from the hips. This is all lower abs. You got 5 more. And exhale. 4. When you exhale, you pull those legs up. 3. That looks great. And 2. We're going to hold this one up. Hold it up. Keep your left knee where it's at. Straighten your right leg out. Bring it back in. Straighten your left leg out. Bring it back in. We're going to alternate leg stretches. Reach out and back in. Press through the heel. Back in. The knees meet right over the hips. You got 5 and 5. Drive through the heel. I want glutes to do the work here. 4. Now I'm not kicking my heel to the sky. I'm just pushing through. 3. 3. A lot of quad on this, by the way. 2. And glute. 1 more each way. Now we're going to keep those legs to tabletop. Both legs together. We're going to press out and back in. If it's too much for you to press out halfway and back in. But I want you to try to reach through the feet and then pull back in. Exhale. This is called double leg stretch. The one before that was single leg stretch. And you've got to tighten your butt muscles to do this. They support the weight of your legs. You've got 5. Strong exhale here as you push out. 4. Thighs together. 3. And 2. 1 more. Okay, now from here, straighten your legs out as best as you can to the sky. 1 leg goes down, 1 leg stays up. No, down straight out, like an L. That right leg is pushed out like an L. Okay, we're gonna scissor and push down. Let's go for 8. 8, exhale. 7, 1 heel up, 1 heel down. But they're both legs are pushing out. 5. 5, feel the glutes working. 4. 4. 3. 3. 2. 2. 1. 1. You're going to bend your knees in just for a second. I've got 1 more thing to do. Okay. You're going to straighten both legs out to the sky. Now, this is a lower and lift, but you only go as low as you can. Your legs come down and you pull them up. You lower down on an inhale, exhale, drive them up. Feel the anchor into the seat. Lower, exhale, lift. Shoulders are flat, chin toward the chest, lift the heels up. Breathe in to come down, exhale, use your abs. Here's 5, exhale. Strong straight legs. 4, push the heels up, toes to your knees. And 3, last 2, and last 1. Now here's a great stretch. Bend your knees. 1 foot down, then the other on the floor. Slide your legs out straight and push your heels into the ground. You're going to stretch your hip flexors out. Arms go overhead. And just really push through your feet. Now we're opening up that back. So we did a little prep work, lower abs, upper abs. We did 2 kinds of obliques. Then we got on the ball and we did that whole leg series. And that should be just enough work for you to do every day. Probably 10 minutes, not even that. So bend your knees. Hands come by your hips, lift your hips. You're going to remove that ball. Lower your hips and then just rock your knees a little side to side, loosen things up. And that's your series.